So I went ahead and did my final render here at 100% resolution. But before I did that, I actually did my last tweaks on my lighting and just everything here. So first things first, the eyes themselves were getting some highlights here that I didn't want. So for my bottom rim lights here, I went ahead and added the eyes low and unchecked them, right, for both bottom rim lights. Next thing I also did is I decreased the intensity of my key light as I felt like it was a little too strong and it was starting to wash out my character's face. So I reduced it to 800 watts. And then I desaturated the color of my background as it was a little too vibrant and it was clashing with the character. So I brought down the saturation for both the background and the floor color as well. So now once you kind of have your image looking how you want to, we're going to take this into Photoshop and do some compositing adjustments. And so to do that, you're going to go into image, save as, save it in any location that you want. Then in Photoshop, you bring in that image. Make sure your layer here is unlocked. Now we want to duplicate this layer. So you can right click, duplicate layer, or you can alt left click drag. So now it creates a copy. I'm going to rename this layer to adjustments. Now we're going to go to our filters. So we're going to go filter, camera raw filter. It should bring up a whole entire menu for it. And here it gives you all of these really cool settings that you can adjust to make improvements to your image. Your render outside of that you generate from Blender should almost never really be your final render. You'll always want to do some at least small tweaks and adjustments just to kind of make it look a little bit better. So here are a couple of settings that I personally use. So I like to raise my exposure. So I think I'm going to go up to like 0.65. It just brightens up the whole thing, right? But then we want to balance that out with a little bit of more of contrast. So I'm going to probably go up to 25 here. Then I also want to increase the value of the shadow so that will lighten up all my kind of shadowed areas. And I'm going to go up to plus 40. And then I'm actually going to darken my blacks here just to kind of start creating a little bit of that contrast. So minus 30. But then this one's probably my favorite setting if I go over to my vignette here. So if I darken it here, well, you'll notice it starts kind of making the edges around your image a lot darker. And so it really helps to kind of frame your main subject. Um, except this is a little bit too intense. So I'm probably going to go down to minus 13. And then I'm also going to adjust the midpoint. So if I move the slider here, right, the higher I go, the closer to the edge of the image. The lower I go, the closer to the center. I want to go somewhere around 22. And that creates a nice little kind of circle around my character here. Next thing, I want to add a little bit of grain. You don't want to add too much. So anywhere between 5 to 8 works. I'm going to do like 7. And then last thing here, I like to sharpen my image a bit just so it looks a little bit more crisp. And so I'm going to go somewhere around 60. And so if I press OK, right, and I toggle this on and off, you can see the difference, how much more vibrant the character is in comparison to our kind of like a raw image from Blender here. So you always want to put at least a little bit of tweaks inside of compositing software like Photoshop or Nuke if you ever come across that one. Um, for our project, I think this looks great. It really showcases our character nicely, and it really makes it pop a little bit more. So hopefully you've enjoyed the course here, kind of giving you a glimpse of every little bit of the stages that are required to create a character in 3D. Uh, I know it may seem like a lot, but as you kind of go through it a couple of times, the process does become a little bit more second nature, right? And it is a blend of both artistic techniques and technical stuff as well. So, kind of the blend of both is kind of what makes this very interesting, as you're able to really express yourself with the artistic side of making 3D characters, but then it also makes you think, how can you uh, make stuff look really good with the technical stuff like shaders, and then how to create the proper topology for animation, right? All this stuff is what makes it really interesting. So hopefully this serves as an introduction into this type of work, and hopefully you've enjoyed it.